Move on to the issue of immigration. And James Cleverly has now done a deal with the foreign minister of Rwanda. Here's an image of them on screen. This is part of the government's plan to make sure that illegal migrants can be lawfully relocated in Rwanda. This is, of course, what they call their ambition to stop the boats. Let's just have a look at some of the boats as we're talking about this. This is ahead of some new legislation which Rishi Sunak is going to bring to Parliament, he aims to confirm that with this new treaty, Rwanda is a safe place to send people. This, of course, is following the Supreme Court judgment. And they talk about building on months of work between Britain and Rwanda and this new treaty responding directly to the conclusions of the Supreme Court and representing a new long-term solution. So as we talk about this, you can decide for yourselves whether that is the case. Now, they also say that it enhances the functions of this group, the monitoring committee. This is the independent monitoring committee, which is supposed to be ensuring compliance with the obligations in this new treaty, but that's been established for a little while. In order to sort of look at what is going on around this whole Rwanda situation. This monitoring committee is also going to develop a system which will enable relocated individuals and legal representatives to lodge confidential complaints directly to them. And I presume they will investigate those. And then also in Rwanda, they've set up a new appeals body, which is going to consist of a Rwandan and other Commonwealth national co-president and be composed of judges from a mixture of nationalities. Now he's getting some pushback from this group of conservatives who consider themselves more moderate, and they call themselves One Nation conservatives. So they are urging Rishi Sunak to make sure that he doesn't throw out the baby with the bathwater, as it were, with respect to the European Court of Human Rights, the European Convention of Human Rights, rather. So let's look at what number 10 was pushing out. This is the action that they're taking on immigration. They're banning overseas students from bringing their families to the UK unless they're on a postgraduate research degree. They're stopping immigration, undercutting British workers, and they're scrapping the 20% going rate salary discounts offered for shortage occupations. We'll have a look at that in a little bit more detail here. So what they're saying is that the minimum salary for UK skilled worker visa, that's going to increase from £26,200 to £38,700. So if your job that you're going to is not going to be paying you at least £38,700 a year, you won't get the visa, is what they're saying. They're saying that the minimum income requirements for a family visa are going to rise. They're going up from £18,600 to £38,700 a year. And if you don't have a combined income of that, then your family doesn't come over to live with you. That there's going to be a ban on care workers bringing family dependents to the UK. So what the effect that has on the NHS remains to be seen. Salary discount for shortage occupation list scrapped. So this is the idea that that companies that are bringing in employees to work in particular occupations would be permitted to pay them 20% less than the equivalent UK-based or British employee. And of course, many companies have been taking advantage of that. So they're going to scrap that. Healthcare surcharges to rise. So if you are an immigrant, you're supposed to pay somewhere between £624 a year to £1,035 a year extra for having access to the NHS. That does not apply to care workers or NHS workers, of course, but that's going to rise. And then there's going to be a review of graduate visas. Now, just to put this in perspective, here is from the Migration Observatory, the proportion of people that are coming in for particular purposes. So by far and away, the largest group of immigrants is for study. And of course, this is effectively subsidizing UK universities. And we can see that the number of people coming in since 2020 or so has doubled, more or less. We got asked why. Then the next largest grouping is people that are coming here for work. And of course, it's that grouping that are largely being targeted. The next largest grouping that are coming in are humanitarian and asylum seekers. And of course, most of these people are being driven to this country by the wars that we are prosecuting at the moment. So perhaps that's an area that we might want to look at rather than dealing with trying to deal with the work situation, because that is, the elephant in the room here is that we have a shortage of working age people in the country and a shortage of people to fill roles, and many companies complaining about that. Now, so if you're going to deal with the immigration issue with respect to work, fine, I could support that, but you've got to therefore at the same time provide some kind of mechanism to get British people, or British citizens at least, into the workforce and trained for the workforce. And of course, the government's not doing anything on that issue at all.
Yeah, I'm cynical here. I think these are policies to appease voters. This is thinking about an election. They're not actually designed to restrict immigration or stop the suffering of the migrants, which many of them, as you say, might coming from war zones.
Absolutely. And just to end this, just make the point that the mainstream media, well, the Daily Mail in particular, absolutely schizophrenic on the issue as well. So on one hand, they've got this highly emotive article, The Migrant Delivery Driver Making a Mockery of Britain's Asylum System, and they showing video at one point. I think the video's down now, but this guy throwing money around is clearly designed to inflame. And on the other hand, we've got to feel sorry for the people that can't bring their families over anymore because of the rise in minimum income levels. So the Mail trying to play with people's emotions as usual, and other mainstream media doing the same.
Okay, thank you for that. Well, let's